Today's episode is brought to you by our lead sponsor, Safe House Project.
Hey, it's Zan at the Pour Over. Today, we're talking about an attack in England on Yom Kippur, where the government shutdown currently stands, the WNBA finals and player sentiments, and other top news for Friday, October 3rd. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the Pour Over. Here's your quote of the day. All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. St. Francis of Assisi. Let's get started with some espresso shots. 2 people were killed and 4 others were seriously injured in an attack outside a synagogue in northwest England on Wednesday, which was Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year in Judaism. Police fatally shot the suspect outside the Heaton Park Hebrew congregation in Manchester after he rammed pedestrians with a car, stabbed a security guard, and was believed to be carrying a bomb. Bomb disposal teams were called after, quote, suspicious items were found on his body. Video showed officers shouting, quote, he has a bomb, go away, to bystanders as officials secured the scene. Prime Minister Starmer called the attack, quote, horrific, and King Charles said he was, quote, deeply shocked and saddened. Authorities credited quick-thinking bystanders with helping prevent the suspect from entering the synagogue. The suspect is a 35-year-old, quote, British citizen of Syrian descent. His motive is under investigation. The hope of resurrection doesn't mean we don't grieve real tragedies like this attack, but it does mean that death won't have the final word. Pray for the injured and the families of those lost, that they would turn to Christ, the Messiah, for healing, comfort, and hope. Pray with us. O Lord, be merciful to those now wounded. Be present with those now bereaved. Your heart is always inclined towards those who suffer. Now let your mercies be active through the hands, the words, and the compassionate care of those who willingly enter this sadness to console and to serve. Every Moment Holy, page 149 of Volume 2. The federal government officially shut down Wednesday for the first time since 2018 to 2019's record 35-day standoff. Democrats want to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at year's end and reverse earlier in the year Medicaid cuts, warning that without action, millions will face higher premiums or loss of coverage. Republicans say they'll only discuss health care after passing a short-term stopgap bill, a measure for which failed, again, in the Senate on Wednesday. Meanwhile, VP J.D. Vance has accused Democrats of pushing, quote, billions of dollars of funding to health care for illegal aliens, a claim Democrats reject. Democratic House Minority Leader Jeffries says Republicans are, quote, lying about the proposal. Roughly 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed, and the White House said, quote, thousands may be permanently laid off in an effort to reduce waste and, quote, scams. If our hope is based on political negotiations or economic security, then we live in fear because we could lose everything. But if our hope is rooted in the eternal security provided by Christ, then we can weather any storm, even a government shutdown. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. Edward Mote, 1863. Players are calling foul on league leadership as the WNBA season nears the final buzzer. On Sunday, Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa Collier delivered scathing prepared remarks in her season exit interview, calling WNBA leadership, quote, the worst in the world, for undervaluing players, including megastars Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers, and for allowing officials to lose control of games. The Players Union and a slew of players and commentators have stood behind Collier, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said she was, quote, disheartened by Collier's, quote, mischaracterizations. The criticism comes as contract negotiations between the union and the league have stalled. Their current agreement expires on Halloween. On the court, the Las Vegas Aces will face the Phoenix Mercury in the league's first best-of-7 finals format. And on the diamond, MLB is also wrapping up its season, with divisional play leading off tomorrow. Here's a verse to consider whether tension is building between managers and employees or business is plugging along as usual. Don't work only while being watched as people pleasers, but work wholeheartedly, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, do it from the heart, as something done for the Lord and not for people, knowing that you will receive the reward of an inheritance from the Lord. You serve the Lord Christ. Colossians 3:22-24.
Human trafficking isn't just an over-there problem. It's happening right here in the U.S. An estimated 300,000 people are being trafficked in America right now, and most were first sold as children. Even when they get a chance to run, sometimes there's no safe way out, and they get pulled right back in. Safe House Project is helping children get to safety and stay there by equipping communities to spot trafficking and funding urgent escapes. They cover what's needed in those crucial moments: a way to escape, shelter, and resources for lasting freedom. Trafficking in the U.S. is at crisis levels, and requests for help to escape are higher than ever. Just $40 provides a safe ride that takes a child from captivity to freedom. Safe House Project can't miss the moment when a child is ready to escape, and your gift makes sure they don't. Give a child the way out. Go to safehouseproject.org/TPO or check the link in the show notes to give now.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. The White House gave Qatar an unprecedented security guarantee weeks after Israel's strike targeting Hamas there. The executive order, less binding than a Senate-approved treaty, says the U.S. will view, quote, armed attacks on Qatar as threats to American security. Meanwhile, Israel intercepted a flotilla of aid boats off Gaza's coast and detained over 440 pro-Palestinian activists, including climate campaigner Greta Thunberg. Pope Leo XIV has weighed in on American politics for the first time since donning the mitre. The Chicago native said, quote, the death penalty and inhuman treatment of immigrants are, quote, not really pro-life positions. The White House denies, quote, inhumane conditions. The pontiff also said President Trump's Gaza peace plan, quote, seems like a realistic proposal that he hopes Hamas will accept. Higher ed is getting homework. In exchange for funding advantages, the White House wants colleges to sign a 10-point agreement banning race and sex-based admission, freezing tuition increases, capping international enrollment, and requiring standardized testing. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is close to a deal with Harvard. The Crimson unlocks federal funds by paying $500 million and opening AI and engineering trade schools. Chimpanzees lost a dear friend this week. Famed primatologist Jane Goodall died at 91 after a lifetime of groundbreaking research. By observing chimpanzees in their natural habitat, she revealed their ability to make tools, adopt orphans, bond socially, and even wage wars. Beyond her scientific research, she championed conservation globally through the Jane Goodall Institute and Roots and Shoots. The showgirl era is upon us. Taylor Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, dropped last night at midnight after months of cryptic, glittery orange visuals. The 14-time Grammy winner is also releasing an accompanying 89-minute behind-the-scenes film about the album at AMC theaters, which is expected to bring an around $40 million boost to the box office. That's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support and we hope you have a great weekend. Catch you on Monday. If you're tired of tribal takes and pat answers, check out Theology in the Raw with Preston Sprinkle. It's a podcast that tackles faith, culture, sexuality, and more with honesty and humility. With over 2,000 episodes and guests from across the Christian spectrum, you'll be challenged, encouraged, and reminded you're not alone. Search Theology in the Raw on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.